Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. Thank you for the comments I saw yesterday, for the views, and for those who inboxed me. Okay, I'm here back again to give you part 2 of my journey. And this YouTube channel is not going to be talking about me or about my life, because it'll be getting boring. So I'll be talking about different things. I'll be uploading different things, and so I'm going to give you the gist of how, after I landed to the airport, how things went. And here we are. Just a reminder, please, for those who have not yet subscribed, please do like, comment and share. Thank you. Here we go. Hi guys, we're back. And yesterday I stopped and when I landed to Pearson International Airport, how things were. Guys, no one picked me from the airport, and it was one of the worst experiences I've ever had since I got here. But regardless, we move on. Though there was a guy we contacted before coming here who I met in downtown, and remember, I didn't know anything about the country. And then when I called him, he was like, "Oh, you have to book an Uber and meet me in downtown, then I'll take you where things are going to start from." I didn't know anything about Uber because I didn't have the app and I didn't have any bank card. So I just stood outside and I was like, it's time to face reality that I'm not home, I'm not with my mom, I'm not with anyone, And then there was like a truck. I don't recall what the truck was having, but I knocked on the door and I was like, "Hi, I'm new to Canada. I want to go to downtown. Can you please drop me? I have no money. I have nothing. But I had like $200, USD." And then the guy was like, "Oh, I can drop you." Then I picked up my case and then I got into the truck. And then the guy was like, after like driving me for 10 minutes, he was like, "Oh, I have to go somewhere, so I'm going to drop you here. I'll call you an Uber, but you'll be paying for it." And I was like, "Okay." And then I didn't know the type of Uber he booked for me. He booked me this Uber for the meter. That was the first time I used it, and it was my last time using it because it scammed my money. Because I had my $200, it was in USD, and then when I gave it to the guy, it was around, he told me that the fare was around $60. And when I gave him the money, I thought he's going to be returning me a lot more than like he gave me. So when I talked to the guy, he was like, "Oh, this is not for foreign exchange, so I'll just give you $40. Canadian dollars." So I didn't know anything about dollars, blah blah, but I was like, "Okay, I'll go." Like, he helped me get to downtown where I had to find the other guy. And then when I got there, I had to wait for him. I remember the time I arrived here, it was during fall, and outside was sunny. Oh, when you get there, it was really cold. I didn't know about it, but I had a jacket because some people briefed me. And when I got downtown there, I waited for the guy. And in my mind, I thought, "Oh, I'm going to be sleeping like a queen. I arrived, blah blah." And then when because I waited for like an hour, then when he came, he took me to which restaurant? It was the Indian restaurant, because he asked me which type of food And then when we got there, he bought me food. I ate. I was like, this guy is not taking me home to sleep. I had a long journey. Just he took me to how can I call it? A center where newcomers arrive, where newcomers can arrive from, and can go there to seek for housing, to seek for food, for immigration help. And that's where he took me. He actually pointed the door to me, and he was like, go there and tell them that you're new to Canada, you don't have where to sleep, you don't have what to eat. And I was like, okay. Then when I went there, I gave him my passport, and they were like, okay, come in. And then the guy left. Since then, I actually talked to him for like a few days, then we lost contact. But I was trying to update him how my life is, where I'm sleeping, what I'm eating, And then when I got inside there, I saw people sleeping on the floor. And I was like, where am I going to sleep? And they told me to call. There is a number you call when you don't. Yeah, there is that number you call when you have nowhere to stay. And they can get you a bed in the city. And I had no clue about all of that. Remember, I didn't have a line, and we had to make a line to call, and like many people, so we had to call to tell them, oh, I'm new, blah blah blah, I need a bed, blah blah blah. And then I used to tell my mom, oh, I'm well, like I'm sleeping well, I'm eating well. And first she was happy because I didn't want to make her lose hope, because there was one time I felt like, oh, I should go back home because my ticket was still on, and I was like, maybe I should go back home. Canada is not like the way I thought it would be, but I was like, no, you shouldn't be giving up. So I called that number for almost a day. I actually called the whole day, even during the night. But then at around 10 p.m, a cab came and picked me up. They're like, oh, we're taking you to a women's shelter where you'll be staying. And I was like, okay, I'll go. I didn't know anything about shelters, but I had to go. So when I went there, to wait to get a bed still. So they were making assessments. They were maybe looking at me thinking that I was lying about not having a place where to stay. So I slept on the floor for 4 days, but I wasn't leaving the shelter until I got a bed. And when I got that bed, I was like, oh, thank God, at least I have somewhere to put my head. It was like the past 4 days. And when you like the friends back in Uganda, when they try to call you or text you or even like talk to you, they're like, oh, bring me this when you're coming back, oh, do this. And in my head I was like, oh, these people don't know what I'm going through. They don't know that I'm sleeping on the floor. They don't know that I don't have what to eat. Remember, these people's food was so different. I didn't know that there is even African food here until when I got my place, but we shall get there. Oh, and then I got that room. It was a shared room with like a 65-year-old lady. Bro, it sucked. Trust me, I stayed in that shelter for like a week or two because I used to feel bad. It was so stressful staying in that room. I wasn't allowed to talk on phone. Like, the lady was so torturing. I don't know, maybe because I was black. It felt like so. and I really felt so bad because she one time accused me of stealing her money, and then maybe the staff were like, oh, we should change her because my age, I was 19 by then, and they just helped me to stay in that shelter because there was no space in the city. So they, after like 2 weeks, they sent me to youth shelter where I stayed for some months. So guys, I was taken to this youth shelter where I stayed for a few months, and I left, and the reason why, the food wasn't good, and the person I was sharing the room with was not clean, and I'm this kind of person who goes to the washroom, and when I find it dirty, whatever I've come to do ends. Like, I really felt so bad being in that room with that person, so I called a friend of mine and I told that person, yeah, take me in. And I didn't have a job, but I risked going to someone's place, eating their food without paying anything, but obviously I looked like a burden to them, and I left. I went to a family shelter where I stayed for like a few weeks, as I was trying to call a youth shelter to where I would put my head, because you know, I was tired of making tours in all shelters, and I was like, this will be my last one. Yeah, then I called, I made calls, then I gave up. I was like, maybe I'm not going to leave this shelter until I find housing. So one day, a lady called me on like, oh, hi Angela. I was like, yeah, it's right. You called us last time looking for a shelter. Did you find space? I was like, no. Are you still interested? Yeah. And then we did the interview, all the paperwork. And I packed my bags, moved to that youth shelter where I stayed with a girl. I don't recall where she was coming from, but she was speaking Spanish. Yeah, she was so good to me, but obviously I have that disease of not staying with people, so I felt so bad being in a room with someone, and I had to fight hard to find housing for myself. So the lady who did my intake in that shelter helped me find housing. Yeah, because I used to find ways of how I can stay independently in my own space without sharing it. Yeah, so, and I'll be sharing you the last episode about how I got housing, how I've managed to be alone, how life has been. Yeah, and then we shall go from there. So that's it, guys. Thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting, and those who are coming in my inbox. I'll come for you. Okay, I'll be sharing different things here. I love you so much. Bye. See you when you see me, I think tomorrow. Bye.